Welcome back to 5-Star Recap. Today I will show you a horror comedy from 2014 titled Tusk. Enjoy. The Not Sea Party is a famous podcast hosted by Wallace Brighton and his friend Teddy Kraft. In the podcast, Wallace looks for recordings of people doing embarrassing things and shows them to Teddy while they make fun of the people in the videos. The Kill Bill kid, who recently lost his right leg due to a katana mishap, is their most recent victim. Wallace then makes a flight announcement to interview him in Canada. Wallace finds out the Kill Bill kid accidentally murdered himself when he shows up to his burial after traveling to Manitoba. Wallace stays an additional day with the goal of tracking down another eccentric to interview after feeling frustrated that he traveled to Canada for nothing. While using the restroom, Wallace finds a handbill advertising a free room and an interesting story of a lifetime. Wallace, whose curiosity has been piqued, makes his way to the elegant home of Howard Howe, an elderly man using a wheelchair who offers tea and some of his fascinating sea stories. Howe is particularly passionate about sharing the story of how a walrus he dubbed Mr. Tusk saved him from drowning when one of the ships he served on crashed while searching for a fabled great white shark. Wallace collapses due to drug intoxication as Howe is telling his tale. The following morning, Wallace awakens to discover his left leg amputated and him strapped into a wheelchair. Howe claims to have seen a recluse spider emerge from the leg of one of his pants, and a nearby physician had to amputate it to save Wallace's life. When Howe jokes about the spider during dinner, Wallace finally understands that Howe is insane. Howe not only reveals his ability to walk, but also his plans for Wallace. Having a terrifying obsession with the walrus, he intends to fit Wallace into a perfectly tailored walrus costume. Allie and Teddy, who are having an affair behind Wallace's back, don't pick up when he calls them, and Howe then hits him in the back of the head with an oosic and tells him that his time as a human is done. Allie and Teddy head to Canada in search of Wallace after realizing the danger he is in and following a number of dead ends. Howe explains his background as a Duplessis orphan and how years of physical, psychological, and sexual torture throughout his youth had drove him fully insane and solidified years of hatred towards humanity back at the mansion as he continues to mutilate and change Wallace. After Howe finishes his job, Wallace is dressed in a horrifying walrus pelt made of human flesh, complete with tusks made from the tibia bones of Wallace's amputated legs. Howe is ecstatic to see his beloved Mr. Tusk again in his hideous aberration of a walrus and a man. Local detective Frank Garman puts Allie and Teddy in touch with Guy Lapointe, an alcoholic ex-cop from Quebec. Guy Lapointe has been searching for Howe for years and once found him by chance under a different name and living situation. He says that Howe, dubbed the first wife by the police for his heinous tactics, has been abducting and killing individuals for years, and that he thinks Wallace might still be alive, but not as they remember him. Eventually, they learn Howe's address from two convenience shop employees Wallace had earlier irritated. When the three of them get to Howe's house, Wallace's mind has been entirely shattered and trained to behave like a walrus. Howe and Wallace get into a messy walrus fight. Wallace then goes full walrus and kills Howe with his tusks. Wallace's transformed appearance horrifies Allie and Teddy when they discover the enclave. Guy Lapointe enters with a shotgun pointed at it. Wallace screams and bellows like a real walrus, terrifying them to their core. Wallace continues to spend his life inside the pelt, living at a wildlife refuge. Still hurt about the incident, Allie and Teddy visit him and give him a mackerel to eat. Allie assures Wallace she still loves him before walking away sobbing, recalling a conversation she had with Wallace the day before he left for Canada about how crying distinguishes people from animals. Tears run down Wallace's face as he sees them leave. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.